Do you ever hear the term disembodied or disassociated? Like it feels like you're not in your own body, you're just like aware of everything. Maybe people are feeling this and they're not even aware of the terms. This is not about labeling this or coming to some sort of conclusion of what's wrong with you. This is really about just being aware of the concept that you can be embodied and disembodied at the same time. And what I mean by that is embodied means that you're totally in your body and you're just kind of focused inside and you're aware of all the feelings that you're having in your body and they kind of rule your day. It's kind of like you wake up in the morning and you feel like, I don't feel good today. It's going to be a bad day today. Here we go. And you're so obsessed with your feelings that your feelings rule your life and you plan your day based on your feelings. So embodied, in my experience, now this isn't, if you ask somebody else, maybe they have a different description of what it means. Everybody's got their own interpretation of what things mean. I just find that what I'm doing is working well, and I want to kind of get people to start thinking this way and try it out and see if it works for you. It might work for you if you try it. I'm just going to explain a little bit about how I interpret what I'm doing, because I don't feel like I struggle too much with stress or overwhelm. I do have stressful events in my life, but I don't feel stressed, and I'm not taking anything or drinking or anything like that. I feel fine because I can feel uncomfortable in that moment, but I mostly feel at peace and I'm much better in that position because I'm able to make clearer decisions. So embodied means you're just totally planning your life around how you're feeling, and you're checking in on how you're feeling, and you're talking about how you're feeling, you're thinking about how you're feeling, and you just get stuck in this loop of thinking and feeling. You're just totally embodied, and that can be fine. If you do it too much, it's not healthy. Disembodied, for me, it means kind of like you're aware of everything that's going on, but you don't feel connected. You don't feel like you're living in reality, just like in this daydream. And there's all this stuff going on in the world. There's lockdowns and COVID and Palestine and the refugees and the blacks and the whites and the LGBTQs. All this stuff is going on and people are fighting with each other, and it's like your brain doesn't get a minute. And if you overload the working memory, which is your conscious mind, that's what they call it, it's your working memory. It's that part of your brain, your frontal lobes, where you pay attention to stuff and it can only process a tiny little bit of information at a time. It's like a tiny little room, and if you fill it up, it kind of drifts off. And now all of a sudden you're kind of in this daydream trance where you're aware of everything and you're processing all that information, but it's too much. You can't think about it. You can't measure it. It's just overwhelming. And you feel disconnected. You don't feel like you're stable in your own, comfortable in your own skin. It's a weird feeling. I don't know if you've ever felt it before. Maybe some people haven't felt it before. I think most people have. So disembodied is when you're just kind of, as well, and in a positive way, it's when you're in that daydream and you're just disconnected from your body. You're disembodied when you're asleep, when you're dreaming. You're disembodied because people can have pain and they can go to bed and fall asleep and not feel the pain when they're asleep. So it's kind of like a disembodied. Great thing to be able to do on purpose. But if you get too disembodied, it can cause complications in your life because you never really feel like you're actually living. It's a very weird and unnatural feeling if you get stuck in it. So think about this. How about being embodied and disembodied at the same time? So that you're aware of your body, but you're aware of everything that's not your body, which is the space between you and everything that's not you. So like I'm sitting in the car here in the park, and there's me, and I feel really aware of my body, which makes me embodied, but I'm also aware at the same time. I feel like I can float, my conscious awareness can float above myself and around myself and be aware of all the space around me, but also be embodied at the same time without judgment. It's a very unique way of looking at it, and if you try it out, you might find that it's actually beneficial because it gives you, it makes you much more resourceful, and it makes you feel like you're actually living and interacting with life instead of relating to it. It's kind of like you're aware of yourself and you're aware of everything that's not yourself, which could be your problems, it could be all the stuff that's going on outside. You're the observer of it rather than, being part of it or being like stuck in your own body trying to, focus on why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So let's call this embodied and disembodied at the same time. And just try out the concept and play around with it and make it up your own way of doing it if you want to use different words and stuff like that. This is just really about creating ideas to quieten your mind down and to not get too stuck inside your head. Last video I done there was about, or it could be the next one. I'm doing these one after another. Is about, is your attention inside or outside? So you might want to have a look at that one. Is your attention inside or outside? So it's just making you aware that you don't have to be totally stuck inside or outside. The fact that I'm aware of it means I can't not think about it. So if I look at somebody that's struggling, I can kind of look at them and go, okay, they're totally embodied. But they don't have a choice, because it's like, if I could go up and shake them and go, hey, are you embodied or disembodied? They've never heard of the concept before, so they can't make a decision whether they are or they aren't. It's just like they're inside. And usually if someone tries to help them to figure out what's wrong, they go more inside. They say, what's wrong? Tell me, where do you feel it? Breathe. And now you're more embodied, which sometimes might not be helpful. And sometimes it can. I'm not judging anything here, or I'm not downplaying anybody's situation. I'm just saying that why not try these things? If they're working for me and they're working for people that I work with, then they might work for you through a video. And if they can help you to feel better, then that's great, because I do have people say to me, that technique that you done one of your videos, and they'll mention random techniques that I totally forgot that I did, and I'll be like, that's a really simple one. But maybe it's the simple things that work for most people, and it's not making things too complicated. Because people think that if they find out why, it's like I say, it's like you're chasing the wind. If you find out why you're feeling bad, that somehow that's going to help you, you know. But all that really does is gives you more sophisticated ways to go inside and think about why you're feeling bad. Where really, this is about just being able to be in this unstable uncertainty, and to be able to thrive through uncertainty without judgment, and just like, okay, the whole thing is whatever, if your life's a pile of shit, it's like the whole thing's a pile of shit, but how do I want to feel as I'm navigating through it? I don't know what's going to happen next, so how can I thrive through uncertainty? So just think about that. I'll just wrap it up with this one. Embodied or disembodied? Embodied means you're totally engrossed inside your own body and you're thinking about how you're feeling all the time, and you talk about how you feel, and people ask you how you're feeling today, and you're obsessed with your feelings. And disembodied, it means just being totally just not aware of what's going on. It's just you're caught in the matrix of the overwhelm, and you don't know, like the day's gone before you know it, and you just lose track of time. That's what it kind of feels like. It's a hard thing to explain. Most people that feel disembodied, everybody feels it, but most people that feel it, they find it difficult to describe it. So I'm not going to try and put it into a box. You know what I mean? If you've experienced it before, but even if you haven't, if you're just aware of this concept, embodied and disembodied, so you're in your body and you're kind of aware of all the space around you. Like if I'm going to do it now, I think I'm kind of naturally doing it without thinking about it too much, because I've done it so much. It's that feeling when you're just kind of walking through the park and you're not thinking about it, and you're just like taking it all in without judgment, and you're not saying it's either this or that. That's like, you're kind of saying to yourself, this is actually nice, you know. You're not quite sure if you're not really doing anything, you're just being. That's what it's kind of like. So try and play around with it and see if it helps you, and let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions about it, just ask me and I'll just answer them. If Paul, I don't know what you said there, can you simplify that a little bit, or can you explain it to me, or here's what I feel, and I will enjoy doing a video on it for you if it helps. And these videos, even if you give me a comment and ask me to do them, that will help other people. So just think about that if you're able to share where you're stuck on this with me, then I can share that with everybody else, and they can also get value out of it too. You'll be surprised how far change can go if you change, and you help me to change the video to another video. You'll be surprised how far that change can go. So thanks for watching. I'm Paul Campbell, and you'll see me in the next one.